The views and opinions of this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers. There is substantial risk of loss in trading futures and options, which you should carefully consider prior to trading. Let's get an update on South American growing conditions and the impact on the markets. Joining us now, Dr. Michael Cordonnier with Soybean and Corn Advisor. Dr. Cordonnier, it's good to talk with you again. Thanks for joining us.
It's always my pleasure.
Well, give us an update. I've been hearing a lot of good things in terms of weather and growing conditions in South America here over the last several weeks. How are things looking across Brazil, Argentina, et cetera, right now?
Okay, well, you're correct. The situation in Brazil is looking pretty good. They've been getting a lot of rainfall. It started the second half of October, and it's continued until the present day. And the soybeans are in generally very good condition, a high yield potential. In fact, everybody's increasing their soybean estimates for Brazil. The crop is right now filling pods in a lot of the areas. In fact, they'll probably start harvesting a few early maturing soybeans in a couple of weeks, probably in the state of Paraná. But the situation is quite good. Much better than what was anticipated when he had a dry start to the planting season. Now, one concern everybody has is that the planting was very concentrated. In places of Mato Grosso, for example, about 2/3 of the soybeans planted within a 2-week period, which means they're going to be ready to harvest in a 2-week period as well. So everybody's got their fingers crossed, hoping it doesn't get wet in February, when a lot of the soybeans will be ready to harvest. So they're hoping it gets a little bit drier so they can get the soybeans out and the safrinha corn planted.
You mentioned that some of the private estimates have been ticking higher for this soybean crop. Any thoughts from your side where this could land when it's all said and done as far as a yield projection?
Well, I'm at 170 million tons right now with a neutral to higher bias. In fact, Ag Rural just came out this morning. They're 171 million tons. So there's a lot of people between 170 and 172. My upper limit is 175. And if the weather continues the way it is right now, we could hit 175 million, which would be a record, of course. And there's going to be logistical issues with such a big crop. I can just see it coming, especially if it's wet and it delays the harvest. So there's going to be a big crop coming out of Brazil for sure.
Thinking about that safrinha corn crop as well going into the ground, if there are any sort of harvest delays that could, as we know, affect safrinha planting. We know we saw some planting delays for soybeans earlier in the year, but we largely caught up really quickly. Could that be a good indicator for safrinha corn planting? Should we get behind a little bit? I think it's already been evidenced and well known that Brazilian farmers can get a crop in the ground pretty quickly nowadays.
Yes, absolutely. So they did have a slow start to soybean planting, but you're correct. They caught up very quickly. And another thing to consider, corn prices domestically are quite good in Brazil. In fact, the prices are up $1.65 a bushel for corn compared to a year ago. And if you're in Mato Grosso today, you can sell corn for about $4.35 a bushel. That's pretty darn good. So most farmers are now raising their estimates about their safrinha corn acreage. In fact, Mato Grosso Institute of Agricultural Economics, they now forecast the safrinha acreage to be up 0.5% compared to last year. A couple of months ago, when he was having trouble planting the soybeans, we thought it'd be down like 5%. So it's looking much more optimistic for the safrinha corn if, and this is the big if the weather cooperates and you get the soybeans harvested in a timely manner.
We're talking with Dr. Michael Cordonnier from Soybean and Corn Advisor here on the show. And I wonder as well, the last time we talked, we touched on the leafhopper issues in Argentina. Is that something that's still a concern for Argentine farmers as we look ahead to 2025?
No. In fact, the numbers of corn leafhoppers are way down. It was down like 90% lower a couple of weeks ago compared to last year. Why it's so much lower? I guess the winter took care of the insects, but that's a very important point. We thought the farmers would plant less corn for fear of corn leafhoppers, but that just did not materialize. In fact, I think they will now not cut their corn acreage nearly as much as anticipated. And right now, for example, in Argentina, the corn is 56% planted, and the crop is rated 51% good to excellent. The soybeans are 65% planted and rated 65% good to excellent. Now, the problem in Argentina is the weather. They've had enough moisture for planting and crop establishment, but not enough to recharge, the soil moisture. And now they're going into the summertime, and the forecast is for below normal rainfall and above normal temperatures. Now, no extreme temperatures are in the forecast, but as the crop gets bigger and the temperatures start to heat up, they're going to need more moisture. So I would categorize Argentina as sort of problematic weather-wise. Now, they're going to probably plant more corn than what we anticipated and less soybeans, and I have adjusted my estimates accordingly. So maybe a little bit less soybean production out of Argentina, a little bit more corn if the weather cooperates. And right now, that's a big if in Argentina. So in all of South America, Argentina is the area to watch. Their weather is starting to be problematic, whereas in Brazil, it's like good, and getting better. So Argentina is a place to watch here going forwards.
Any big takeaways in terms of the market action for you as we look at how the crops are going in South America, looking into 2025? Any big takeaways for you as you look at the grain markets right now?
Well, if you look at all of South America, the soybean production is going to be up like 20 to 23 million tons compared to last year. So it's going to be a very big soybean crop. Corn, though, maybe only up 3 or 4 million tons compared to last year. So I think corn might be the issue in South America this year. And we have seen, corn prices improving here lately. Soybeans, maybe not so much. So I think the corn market may have a little bit more legs to it than the soybeans because South America is going to have a very big soybean crop for sure.
Well, we do appreciate the time. Folks can learn more, soybeansandcorn.com. Dr. Michael Cordonnier with Soybean and Corn Advisor. Thanks for joining us, and we will look forward to talking to you again real soon.
Always my pleasure.
Make sure to subscribe to the Market Talk YouTube channel. There, you can watch our latest interviews with the top market analysts in the country, find bonus content, and much more. Just go to youtube.com/markettalkag and hit the subscribe button, or you can search for Market Talk Ag on YouTube.